But what I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about this weak signal that was on the last slide. It's called humans at capacity. So this is the idea that we are all overwhelmed. Everybody is being asked to do more with less. Everybody is being asked to understand and learn all these technologies. Everybody is tapped out. So our job as leaders and as owners of our relationship is to think about this maybe a little bit differently. So maybe shift our thinking from being bosses being bosses and sales reps to being curators of time. How can we be curators of time to help unlock human potential and move time as being our bottleneck to only imagination as our bottleneck? So this is where I really think that generative AI is going to help us amplify this. I know that you guys do a lot of time curation for your customers today. If you are working on document workflow solutions, that is about saving your customers time, giving time back to them in their day because you have automated their process. That's a great first step. You probably aren't using the fancy name of curator of time, but I expect to see everybody using that title. Because I think that what generative AI helps us to do is to give back time to our employees and customers. So one study, and then I'll show you a couple of examples. This was a McKinsey study that generative AI has accelerated automation by more than a decade. So just the launch that we saw happen in the last year of ChatGPT and other technologies using generative AI, we have leapfrogged, we have advanced automation by 10 years. Again, 50% of our tasks are expected to be automated in the future, and when you see these things, you'll understand why. Okay, so this is a company called Otter AI. Does anybody use Otter? My daughter and I discovered Otter my middle daughter, when she started college and when she was having a hard time keeping up with the lectures. We found Otter, and basically you turn it on, it records, and it transcribes. So you have a transcription, not just an audio recording of a lecture. What they have added is a meeting assistant. This Otter Pilot can be added to your Outlook calendar, can join meetings on your calendar automatically. I'm actually in a conversation right now with a company called Rightbound for sales prospecting tools, and every time we pop in the Zoom meeting, I see Kelly's assistant in the meeting with us. And I had never really thought to ask her, wow, your assistant just coming in and she attends all of your meetings, but what she is using is something like this. This technology has the ability to take notes, to update people if they're late for the meeting. If you come in late and you have a question, you pop in there and you ask the question, and it can give you an answer based on the conversation that has already happened. It can summarize the notes, it can take screenshots of important slides, and it can distribute those notes to people after the meeting. Huge time savings. I think I'm going to try this as soon as I get back. Okay. The next one here is if you have coders. If you have coders in your organization, this is Cody, or AI Coding Assistant. This writes codes, answers questions, debugs codes, helps you write documentation. These are all things. This does not replace the software developer, but what this does is it makes them far more productive. Right? It's not just coding, but UI development. All you need anymore is a prompt. All you need is a description. Tell it what you want it to look like, and it will use its training on millions of user interfaces that are best in class to provide user interfaces for your applications or your websites. This is probably the most compelling. This company is called Adept AI. Adept AI does not have a live product in the market today, but they just went through their Series B funding. I think they raised $350 million in March of this year, and they're building a wait list of customers. What this technology does is with a text command, it can make your devices and software do what you want them to do. Let me give you some examples. You tell your computer, your operating system, whoever you need to tell that you want, take a look at my calendar, book my travel. It understands what that command is, it understands where it needs to go, and it understands how to go get that job done, booking hotels and travel for you. Other things might be Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, build me a P&L of my 4 biggest customers last year. It understands, it knows where it needs to go for the data, and it builds the deliverable for you. Or how about, hey, office printer, print me a photograph of my family's vacation. Understands the command, understands where to go, and then builds that deliverable for you. This will change how we interface with devices. So, big trend to keep watching. So we are at an inflection point. You might be saying we've had AI and machine learning around for a long time. The difference between Gen 1 AI and generative AI is 3 big things. One is that AI and machine learning can recognize things. It can recognize patterns and text and objects and images and do something with that, provide intelligence to that. What it has not been able to do is create content as a result of it. That is the game changer, is the generative AI. The next game changer is that it talks our language. And that's not, it could be English, it could be Spanish, it could be Chinese. It talks human. We understand it. And by the hundreds of millions of people that are using it, we know that the adoption of it is pretty easy and pretty intuitive, which we all know that technology isn't always intuitive to adopt. And the last big reason why this is a game changer is because it's been made available to the world for free. So that becomes huge. We saw 5.4 billion people on the planet have access to the internet, are connected. So what that means is that 5.4 billion people can take advantage of this technology, hopefully more for better than for bad, because we know there will be bad actors for sure. But because it's available and it's so pervasive and it's free, we are going to see the most amazing disruptive technologies coming from the masses. Again, if you have a phone in your pocket, you have the ability to be a global enterprise. This is one of the ways.